Hi, hello. This is a video I'm like super terrified to make and super scared to make because it involves, talking about my deepest, darkest anxieties and worries in life. But I think it's necessary to do that because how else are we going to grow? As the title implies, hi, I'm Ro, short for Rose, short for Rosette. I'm 22 and I feel totally trapped. I feel totally lost in life. I have no idea what I'm doing. I am at the end of my rope, and I didn't think the rope was any longer than it was 3 months ago. So, I'll cut to the chase. I'm mentally ill. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and I have ADHD, and I have some type of general anxiety and depression, probably, maybe persistent depression. And I'm struggling, man. I've been struggling for the last 5 years, I want to say. Honestly, I didn't talk about it directly in this format outside of the context of video because, to be honest, I thought nobody would care. But now I'm realizing that it's important for me to do so because if I'm not forthright about these feelings with my audience, then I think they'll just stay blocked up in me forever until I explode like a balloon full of pee. I think that's something you can tell all of your friends, that I am like a balloon full of pee. And I'm going to talk about all of that. But first, a word from my sponsor. But I need you to know, you're probably going to laugh more at the sponsor than the rest of this video because I'm just a wreck, bro. Here, smell. It's good, right? Well, that's thanks to today's sponsor, Scentbird. Whenever I go out on the town, I like to spritz myself with a little bit of fragrance and watch as every passerby on the street assumes I'm a high-level nasal executive, or the origin of the DNA sample they used to give Maseratis their signature smell. And then the next day, I might throw on a brand new scent. Or maybe I wear the same one again. I'm just wild like that. Scentbird is a lovely service where you can pay money for a good. That good being samples of designer fragrances. This month, I got Glasshouse Sunsets in Capri, Sleek Sandalwood by Mason Capri, Mirrored Image by the Murillo Twins, and Jasmine Yucatan by Diaz and Durga. See, Scentbird is a service that helps you match yourself with a fragrance by having you take a quiz and then sending you 3 sample bottles that match your preferences. It's affordable, it lets you duck the commitment of buying a full bottle, and it gives you access to a huge range of brands. Go ahead, do it. Try browsing Scentbird yourself. You'll probably say, wow, I recognize a handful of these designer scent brands, but I really didn't realize how expansive the market was. Good thing that Scentbird has a quiz that acquainted me with scents that might be right for me. Plus, the bottles are deceptively small for the amount of fragrance that they hold. You could bring these anywhere, and in a pinch, you could keep it in your mouth. But the most of the orthodontists and dental healthcare professionals I've spoken to have told me not to do that anymore. So if you're interested in trying Scentbird, which is unironically one of my favorite sponsors, use my code RAMDEN55 or the link below to get 55% off, more than half off. That's just $8. That's the price of like 2.5 packs of gum, 8 items from the dollar store, or 1 $5 bill and then 3 $1 bills, if that's easier for you. Thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring. I'm sorry I couldn't raise my voice for this ad read. I'm still recovering from COVID. Luckily, it didn't take my smell, so I can still smell these lovely Scentbird fragrances. Okay, alright, back to the video. I don't have a script. I've filmed, every single video I've filmed in the last, 3 years has had some sort of script, and now I don't have a script. When I was 12, I really wanted to be a YouTuber, and it was, the only thing I ever thought about. From 5th to 8th grade, I was constantly just learning how to make YouTube videos. I remember being young, and I remember watching, Smosh and Ryan Higa and Tyler Oakley. This, whole, a whole range of YouTubers from, 2006 to 2016. And I was just obsessed, and I really wanted to be like those people. They were who I looked up to. I wanted to make stuff like them, and I wanted to understand how they made stuff. And actually a big piece of the reason that I got into the more technical art of photography, of cinematography, of making music is because I wanted to do YouTube, and I wanted to do those things, and I wanted to understand those things so that my YouTube videos could be better. Then I moved on to high school, and I kind of started thinking it was cringe, so I stopped thinking about it for, I think, about 5 years. My senior year of high school, there was COVID lockdown. A few things happened in quarantine. One, I got badass at bananagrams. Okay, I was the Nigel Richards of the family bananagrams table. I was throwing punches. I think I might have made some people feel bad about themselves in the process, honestly. That's just what it means. That's what it means to have the Mamba mentality, though, I think. If you're going to be playing bananagrams with your family and your stepsister, you got to lay down the fucking law. You're 18. You got nothing left to lose. You're young. You're virile. You're fertile. I wasn't. Well, I guess I was fertile. But that's not what I'm... I started making TikTok videos. And the reason I started making TikTok videos is because I got broken up with and my self-esteem was really low. And I was like, I need something. I need people to laugh at me or something. And, you know, famously healthy reason to do something. I'm pretty sure most court jesters during medieval times would go up to the king and be like, hey, I really need this right now. I need this, man. Hit that like. So I started making TikTok videos and I amassed a following on there, and already there was sort of this push and pull of feeling like I was able to make videos some days and I wasn't able to make them other days, and that kind of stressed me out, but I trekked through it. I kept on making videos. I made an album, and then in fall of that year, moved out of my parents' house into like a tiny little apartment, and I kept making TikTok videos. And then I hit like a huge wall, and I was doing college online, and I essentially just like spun out. I stopped making TikToks. I dropped out of college, and I just had this long drawn out horrible period where I was just severely like depressed and obsessive compulsive as well. I was really constantly ruminating on all of these thoughts about like how my life could never manifest into anything meaningful or relevant. And I made it past that, but that was, I think, one of the first, like, truly, like, dark times. It is probably the most depressed I've ever been. I'm not going to play the Depression Olympics with myself, but trust me, I'm taking home the gold. What's above gold? Do they have platinum? Yeah, I'm getting double S tier in the Olympics, buddy. I had a really bad period there, and I came out of it, and that was probably around summer of 2021. Which was another messy period, but ultimately I was doing a little better. I moved into this apartment, I re-enrolled in college, and I started making YouTube videos. And as soon as my YouTube videos generated enough money for me to cover my half of the rent, I would pay my rent, and I dropped out of college again. And after about 3 months of making YouTube videos, during that time period, I made an unbelievable amount of YouTube videos. If you are familiar with my upload schedule now, you can look back to see that I uploaded probably like 20 videos in 2 or 3 months. It was ridiculous. And I felt that I was operating at a decent level of quality, like my output was not too bad. And then I hit a wall, and I totally spun out again around the end of December 2021. I would upload about monthly, but I couldn't get back on the horse. And I slowly sort of like crawled out of the burnout, and I hit another good patch in fall of 2022, which is a long ways away from the winter of 2021. And I lived every single month in between those two, which was good. All things considered, I felt good about the videos that I was making to an extent during that time, fall 2022. But deep down, I also knew that I was going to burn out again, and I didn't know what to do about that because, you know, I needed money to live, and I needed money for rent and food and stuff. But I was also struggling with stuff that I still struggle with now, like a lot of vices, like simple vices, like DoorDash and shit like that. Stuff where you can pour your money into it, just like an unbelievable amount of money, and forget. And then, you know, more serious vices like substances. And yeah, I hit a wall of just terrible burnout again at the end of 2022. And, you know, during all these times, I'm like telling my patrons, I'm like, you guys are keeping me alive, which they still are, by the way. And it feels like so... I'll get back to the Patreon screed at the end of the video. It's so embarrassing, dude. I don't want to have to beg for money. So at the end of that period, not only was I burned out, but I was now living in this 2-bedroom apartment that I still live in, as only one person. And for whatever reason in my mind, I was like, I don't have to move, I'll be fine. I wanted to move. I still want to move. I don't know why I haven't moved. I think it's one of the many things in my life that can be sort of retroactively chalked up to like a sort of weird, abstract, mutilated version of self-harm, where I'm trying to keep myself stagnant or try to keep myself from improving my life because I'm severely afraid of change. So after that 2022 burnout, which was also shitty, I sort of went back to posting a little more infrequently. And then again, in fall of 2023, I decided, I'm going to try to just do a 9-to-5 work schedule essentially every week and put out a video every week. And I tried that and it worked for a little, and then I just burnt out again. And I just felt miserable. I felt like so depressed. And a piece of that is that I was working on a video about Palestine, and I was really proud of what I had written, but at the same time, I felt like I didn't know enough, or that I shouldn't talk about it because like people would freak out on me, and I feel so fucking feeble saying this. I'm not like well enough to take a firestorm. I'm not well enough to endure that as a person. I couldn't take it. It ended up being the case that like a YouTuber friend of mine basically like published a video with a very similar premise to what I was going to do. And so I just gave it up, and I sort of retreated into like this horrible, like this like depression vortex again. Just trying to figure out, I don't know, fucking anything. Like, and during these vortexes, I lose sight of the fact that what I enjoy is creating and entertaining and making stuff for people and being in that rhythm. And I start trying to gravitate towards all of these other things. And during that period, I was like, I want to know more about video games. I want to know everything about video games. I consider video games to be a really important art form, and I like engaging with them, but it's so clearly just escapism. It was so clearly just me shuttering myself away because I was like so scared that I would come off as stupid, or I was so fucking scared that people would hate me. I was so scared because I hate myself. That's the true crux of it, right? It's very difficult to present for other people in such a way that you try to make them like you, and then go home at the end of the day and really, really dislike yourself profoundly, and be... That contradiction is really difficult to resolve. I still deal with it all the time, but... And it's not easier. It's not. And that's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, is because I have to deal with it, right? I have to deal with that fact on the stage in front of you guys. And there's something so patronizing about sitting in front of a camera with 0 people in this room with me and saying, I want to deal with these feelings for you guys, for this nebulous audience that sort of like swirls around me. a phantasm visiting me during a night terror. But I come to you as humbly as I possibly can. A young person who has been ostensibly working their dream job for the last 3 years. Creative freedom, whatever hours I want, I get paid more than I need, and yet I'm struggling like hell financially because I can't fucking make videos because I hate myself and I think I have nothing worthwhile to say. And that's not... I don't want you to go in the comments and be like, oh, don't hate yourself, I like you. I don't know who you are. I don't particularly need your validation. I don't need any validation. I need, like, somewhere deep down, I need to, like, fix some stuff, and that's not your problem. It's really difficult, and it's really scary to get to your dream, or the thing that you want to do, the thing that, like, frees you, to still just struggle like hell, just to, like, constantly be, like, depressed, or just, like, this, like, torturous, like, obsessive agony, this like anxiety that just like does not lift. So after the period where I fell into video games because I was just like terrified of doing anything else with my life, you know, I couldn't post like anything for like 5 months. I came back with like a video on video games to play while you're depressed, because that's what I had been doing. And after that point, I started streaming a bunch on YouTube because I thought that would make me happy, and for a while it did. I was really enjoying engaging with people, with my audience live, and laughing, and sort of like having this dynamic interaction with the people who watch my videos. And that was making me really happy for a while. And then all of a sudden, like, I went back one day and it just like wasn't making me happy. And that's just sort of the pattern, isn't it? I find something that makes me happy and I do it for a while, and then one day I wake up and it doesn't make me happy anymore. And that's like the scariest thing in the world. It's the scariest thing in the world to enjoy something and know that you're just going to wake up one day and be like, it's not, this thing doesn't like satisfy. There are no resonant frequencies between this thing and my soul anymore. That blows. And I keep dealing with it, and it keeps sucking. Streamed for a while, that was good, and then I got depressed. And then I came out of that a little bit, and I started being really creative again. And I started learning a bunch of different softwares for a video that I'm working on that's coming out next month. And I started doing work every single day. And then 3 days ago, I couldn't get my Adderall for the first time in like a month. And feelings came right back, like immediately. Like I woke up and I was like, oh fuck, I'm sad again. I'm sad for no reason. I wasn't sad yesterday. I'm no less capable than I was yesterday. I'm no less interested in the things that I was yesterday, but I woke up 3 days ago and I was just fucking miserable. And I would like to say that that's 100% just, oh, you didn't have your medication and you're withdrawing, but like, it's never just that. It's just this sinusoidal pattern. It feels like every time you build up momentum, that momentum slowly disperses across this excruciating period of like melancholy. And I guess what I'm saying is like that's made it very hard for me to make videos, and it's made it very hard for me to live. And I don't have that much money, and I'm kind of like fucked right now. I need to ask for yours. I need to ask for money. I need to ask for you guys to support me on Patreon, and I really don't like doing that. And I'm sure you can tell because whenever I do it so briefly, and I do it without thinking about it at all. And I need to do it because I'm just fucked on money. I owe the IRS a lot of money in tax returns, and I just haven't been able to get out videos because I've just been severely mentally ill. Just like that's been the case. And it's such a deep source of shame because it's like I should be able to pay my own bills. I get paid too much to be a YouTuber, and I spend all this money on bullshit that I don't need. I'm constantly like mismanaging my fucking finances. And it's so hard for me to like sit down and say like, in spite of all of that, I still need help. Like in spite of all of like the bad decisions and the bad waves of emotions and events that course through my life, that I'm still like, I want to live and I need help. I mean, that's good though. I do want to live and I do need help. So I'm in therapy. I've got a psychiatrist, medications, rockin', all that. What I want to say is that if you like the videos that I make on this channel, if they do anything for you, please consider supporting me on Patreon. I really need it. I can't sugarcoat it. It would really, really help me. It would really help. That's it. I'll be okay, though. That's the thing. I will be okay. And you know, if none of that is compelling to you, if you don't want to give me money, that's totally fine. In fact, I have somebody for you to give money to that probably does need it. So at the end of my last video, I spoke about a Palestinian family, Ahmed, his 3 kids, and his wife, and shit's still bad. They still need your support. They're considering maybe a refugee camp. We're not sure if this is the end of their GoFundMe campaign. I might be back later asking you for more help. In cases like this, it's like impossible to 100% verify that like the money is going where I want it to go. And I've looked at Ahmed's social medias, and I'm convinced that if this is not a real person with a real family, that I don't know. I don't know. I'm convinced. I'm convinced of it, and I think that if you have money that you don't need, you should give it to them, because it means the world. Last time we managed to raise like $6,000 for them just from my video, and that meant a lot to him. And let's try something like that again. They're only like $5,000, $4,000 away from their goal, so let's get them there. All right, that's the video. Really, really simple, austere. I'm really like scared to put out something that is not densely wrapping all of my weaknesses and fears in a bunch of edits and snarky jokes, but I guess it's what I gotta do right now to resolve a deep contradiction within myself. Thank you so much to Scentbird for sponsoring the video. Link in the description, of course. Go mess with Scentbird. And if you want to support me, patreon.com/RoRamden. There's a lot of stuff up there, music especially. There are 2 albums that I worked on for probably about a year and a half each, one of which I am like really proud of, and there's a bunch of royalty-free music for you to use in any videos you want. There's some behind-the-scenes stuff. There's, I don't know. Thank you for watching. I'm not going to do the usual outro. I just want to say thank you. It's been 3 years that I've been doing this job, and I don't really feel worthy of all of the support, and I'm really scared of what the future looks like for me. But I need help, so I'm going to say that, and I'm not going to try to wrap it up in like irony or some shit. So thank you for watching. Please have a nice day. Please take care of yourself, and honestly, I promise it's gonna be okay, and that's for you and for me. Bye.